R.I.P. Tom Benson. Shout out to the whole Who That Nation. Now who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. I say who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. Ooh, who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. I say who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. You got that fever? Yeah, yeah, that fever for the flavor. Got that flavor? Yeah, yeah, that flavor for the funk. You got that fever? Yeah, yeah, that fever for the flavor. Got that flavor? Yeah, yeah, that flavor for the funk. I got that fever, my people. See, we not equal, my people. I'm like that dog saint underneath the steeple, my people. Got Drew Brees, he the feature, and our defense the sequel. The D-line and linebackers, man, they coming to reach ya. Make enemies some believers, cause we overachievers. DBs see 50-50 balls and we call them keepers. Y'all can follow this leader, cause Sean Peyton will teach ya.
Yo, what's up, Saints Talk listeners? We back. It's another week. Nick, I got to start the pod hot. Hardest question of the pod right off the bat. Is Who That Flavor a classic song or not? All right, you mute. You mute.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it is. I think it is. We made it, you know. Well, no, I don't want to say we made it because
we had a part. We had a part.
PAT made it, but yeah, we distributed it. Yeah, it's a classic.
Is it a local classic or is it a classic?
I mean, I'd put it up there with like One Mic.
Oh, pod over. Man, that was the biggest hot take I ever heard you had. I was just listening.
Like for real, it's like a personal. Every time I hear the song, like I just like the feel of it.
I'm with you, bro.
It's a personal classic to me.
It is, man. Every time it comes on, I always like. I feel like I gotta say, "All right, Saints Talk listeners." Like it just like naturally comes out.
So, like, I want to hear that before every pod, and then on the way to every game, I listen to "On Me" by Wayne, and those are like the two mood songs for me.
All right. Yeah, this guy, like, I'm gonna be on the Panthers podcast, I guess tomorrow. You got to get the exact date down, and I'm gonna like request that before he introduced me, that like Who That Flavor is like my intro song.
Yeah, it's your walk-up music.
It is. Hey, I saw somebody in chat ask, "What's the song?" I'm gonna paste it in chat so you guys can check, look in chat. But it's called "Who That Flavor" by PAT.
Yeah. Just go on YouTube, type in "Who
That
That Flavor."
Shout out to PAT for dropping that on us, man. I was just listening to it. I was just like, man, it makes me want to pod. Like every time I make like kind of like low energy or something, and I hear that song, it's just like we about to talk some. We about to talk that business. So. All right, intro done. Thank you guys for joining us. Live chat. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the NewOrleans.Football subscribers. I usually don't start off with this, but
shout out to BetUS.com. Bet with the 3-decade leader. BetUS. Join for 125% bonus or 200% bonus with crypto. Use the code NOF125 or NOF200 with crypto, and bet sports, casinos, horses, pop culture, and more at BetUS.com. You bet, you win, you get paid. Bet US.
If they figure out 250, then I'm out of here. So I'm done. You got to find a new host. Man. Hey man, got your little glasses, hair done today, makeup on.
Man, it's been a wild day. Yeah, it's been a wild day. It's been a wild day.
Yeah, what do we deserve to do? What do we do to deserve handsome Nick? Like, I want to know.
Man, no, the glasses are just like when things don't go right. That's when I got the glasses on. The day just never got started right.
So I've taken a body shot as soon as the pod started. Kevin the Juicer Washington. Oh man. Yo, you went blank again. A man having audio issues. We're gonna work through it.
Hey, so can you hear me?
Just give us a second, guys.
Oh, there we go. I'm back. You got me? You got me.
Do we have anything? Yeah. All right, Nick, say something, because I can't hear you. But it says, I guess some people can hear Nick, some people can't.
Yeah, it's because you're listening in the.
All right. Say something.
All right. So,
all right. There you go.
There we go. We're back.
Yeah, I think we back now. Yeah, we had a little
live video issue. I don't think the audio portion of this is going to work, but we can just download it off here and run this.
Oh, because you probably like in cash. You could probably like just drop out of cash and drop back in, but whatever. We'll figure it out. It's all good. They don't need to worry about that. We good. We can hear now. We're here to talk football. Nick got a new glasses. He's handsome today. I'm juicing.
There we go. We're good to go. This is we're off to a real bad start here, but that's fine.
And I think you just jumped back. Yeah,
we're good to go. We're back rolling. We're back rolling.
All right. We good. So recap. Who that flavor is a classic. Nick is handsome today. I'm juicing, and Bob hit me with a body shot. I think we caught up now. So
yeah, there we go. All right.
There we go. All right. So Saints, never a dull day. Can we just get one non-football news day? I was just hoping to just not hear anything. Try to text you and say, Nick, what's going on with the team? Nah, that ain't how it works. So we're gonna start off with some of the injuries that that the Saints have accumulated over the last few days. Well, since the game. Lattimore, he had a interesting day. Signed this big contract. Shut down his receiver. Was gone for part of the second half. Came back. Cast on his hand. Continued to shut him down. And then it got reported that he got paid. And then later he reported that he's going to need surgery. Today apparently he had the surgery and he's going to be week to week. So yeah. I think that covers it. What do you think about that, particular thing, and how do you think it's going to affect the team going forward? You think they can kind of weather him being out with Roby coming in and Debo playing well the first game?
Debo, I would argue that Debo had like maybe one of the best debuts by a rookie cornerback that I can remember in recent memory. At least,
how was Marshawn's debut? I know that's where you're going.
I think it took him a couple of weeks to kind of get fully into it. Going against Aaron Rodgers week 1, shutting down the guy you're up against. Granted it wasn't Devontae Adams, but still shutting down whoever you're up against, not letting Rodgers really beat you. A 14-yard slant, I think, was really the only thing he gave up the whole game. I mean, man, his level of competence was unbelievable, and it's kind of a continuation of what we saw in the preseason. So it's starting to be believable. I mean, you need to keep seeing it. You need to that's the nature of cornerback. It's very hard to be good at cornerback every single week. But if he keeps doing that, and I think it's interesting because if Lattimore misses some time, you're going to be in a situation where you're basically got a battle, in a sense, taking place for CB2 during these games. And whoever plays better, I think, should have the job. And look, just because you gave up a 3rd-round pick for Bradley Roby and $1 million
don't mean nothing.
You got a 3rd-round pick and $1 million invested in the other guy. So it's
and for years.
Yes. Yeah. So it's the same level of investment. So one of those guys that you have a 3rd-round pick and $1 million in is going to be your depth. So just let the best guy win the job. And if Roby comes on this team and is CB3, that's great.
That's great.
You still need that good depth. I mean,
he's still a good player. Regardless, I mean, we know what he is. So if he's CB3, then that speaks. That means a Debo rookie year is kind of playing like he's a CB1. I mean, or a high end CB2 because Roby's a high end CB2, right? So I mean, that's kind of where he would fall.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I think Roby probably has the inside track going in this, so I'm not trying to overhype anybody or anything like that. But I think Debo has played well enough that he needs. I think Debo's played well enough that he shouldn't be dismissed, and he has this opportunity. And if Lattimore hadn't gotten hurt, I don't know that you let it play out the same way. I mean, Roby probably comes in and is immediately that guy. But if Lattimore's out, you kind of get this situation where you can kind of see it play out.
Maybe they say, hey, man, we're going to give you a week to get up to speed because we kind of want to see what we got with this rookie.
Yeah.
I'm here to chat. I'm here to be messy. I'm here to start something up. I'm being real with you, Love and Hip Hop New Orleans. It's football edition, for real. So, and listen, guys, we're doing 2 members only pods per week. What if you're not signed up? I don't know what you're waiting for. I'm just gonna put that out there right now, for real. Post game pod, Friday pod. Just go out there and sign up. That's what you're getting with NewOrleans.Football. Film study went up today too, by the way. But I say that to say I've asked you on I think it was the I don't know if it was the Friday pod or the post game pod. I'm like, can you bench a Debo?
Yep.
Can you bench him?
Hey, shout out to Dan for signing up. Appreciate you.
Dan, there you go, Dan the man.
There's the link on the screen. It's in the show notes. It's on the YouTube information. Sign up, subscribe to like Kevin said, 2 members only pods a week, full game breakdown. So we ain't gonna be recapping everything in the game
definitely
on the Tuesday pod like we used to. So some of those takes are just for the members. And Friday's kind of the preview of recapping everything we learned about in the week heading into the game, previewing the game. So all that. And also, if my sound isn't quite as good or echoey, I'm in a new hotel and I can't really control it. So we're just kind of doing what we got to do here.
No, you forgot the dog food.
Yeah.
Hey, man, but back to what we were saying. Like, I don't know if you could bench him. So I think, listen, I don't think Lattimore being hurt is a blessing in disguise. I think that's not in any way, shape, or form the case. But it does give you a chance to evaluate this position and see what you have with this rookie who looks good. And if you stole a 3rd round cornerback after trying to give up your next 3 drafts for, one of, Surtain, who's not starting, who's going to start now because the Broncos had a cornerback injury, and J.C. Horn, who they'll see this week, man, sometimes you fall into luck, right? You're trying to draft Reuben Foster, you got the kid from the tackle. So sometimes things work themselves out. And if he plays out, that'll be the case here.
I do wonder in the alternate universe, if they trade up and they get J.C. Horn or Surtain, if the Lattimore contract still happens. I wonder. And I don't know if it changes anything. I think maybe you roll with both, but it is an interesting thought. Like, was that a situation where if you trade up, you get that guy, then does the money go to Marcus Williams? Or it's just an interesting scenario. I don't know if it changes anything. I mean, Lattimore is a tough guy to walk away from, but
I just don't know how you let him out the building, man.
I do think that paying Lattimore makes paying Marcus Williams harder. Like that's just the fact of the matter. There's the pie's only so big. There's only so many pieces you can cut out of it.
Yeah. Marcus is play angry, bro. Run 40 yards with the ball in the air to run down an interception that I don't know who thought that was easy, but that was a hell of a.
He's consistent. Look, he is consistently elite every year, and if people want to judge him out of a moment or two, that's fine. Those are people I can't really have a conversation with because it's just believe what you want to believe. But like if you're really in it, you're really watching it, and you're you got to watch the all 22 to know what Marcus is doing. That's not an elitist comment. That's not I watch film type thing. Yeah. It's just you physically cannot see what he's doing without watching it. So
yep. And
you see what he does. His range is insane, even on plays where he's not involved. I mean, he is involved. He's there. He's helping control where the ball goes. There were 3 or 4 of those in this game where his, he just took off and he's cutting off a passing lane just with his range, or Aaron Rodgers is looking at him and, doing something else because, Marcus is over here.
Yep.
And you saw the impact on the game. And look, I know sometimes on TV, you'll see Marcus like late to a play. A lot of times when he's late to a play, it's because he's on the other side of the field. He's covering.
He wasn't supposed to be in
zone.
The play.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be there. He has so much range that he somehow managed to put himself in a play where guys otherwise who don't have the range that he has wouldn't be able to get over there. And I don't know. I can't really talk about Marcus Williams because Game Pass is the worst subscription service in the history of humanity. And I'm just saying, like, please, can I watch some film? So it's only about
I don't know nothing about
2% of the NFL people covering the NFL has seen what Marcus Williams can do because the all 22 doesn't exist. So it
still ain't out,
huh?
It ain't out. It didn't come out.
I don't think it's out. I mean, I need to double check, but I'll check in a second. But I'm pretty sure it's not out. And this new subscription, the way it's just bad. I don't know how. I think someone said, "How can we make this suck?" All the user experience people are fired.
Sign up for the site. There's some clips.
That's what I was about to say. Because they're letting the developers create the UI, and that's a bad idea. But yeah. Question: if you had to choose between Marcus Williams and Teron Armstead, who would you sign?
That's tough, man. I mean, that's really tough.
I'm going Teron.
Given the age,
I'm going Teron. I think Teron plays at the level of a Hall of Fame left tackle.
Yeah, he does. But I mean, the age is Marcus Williams is like really, really young. Like he's probably not even into his prime athletically. He was like 20 years old when he came into the league. So I mean, that's
right.
If you sign both of them to a 5-year contract, I mean,
how old is Teron?
Teron's probably 30.
Man, he's just so good, man. I think I have him.
It's the age is the only thing that
I had him as the best player on the roster. It's like he was my number one. So I don't know. I'm probably a little bigger of a Teron Armstead than like 99% of the people on this planet, other than Duke Manyweather.
No, I mean I got him up there too, man. It's just the age. It's just the age is the only thing.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Hey man, you ever seen that Jamie Foxx skit where he's like, talking about Prince, and he said, he's like, you looked him in the eye?
Yeah.
I just feel like you got to take them glasses off, man. Like, can you just give me like for real? Like, you just give me like weird vibes, man.
Hey, man,
I'm gonna just look at your forehead all podcast. It's like it's just a lot to deal with, man. I'm trying to concentrate. But yeah, okay. So, see, lost my train of thought. Lattimore. So yeah, hopefully he's back healthy soon, and we can get him up to speed, because I think he's going to be a big part of what the Saints do this season. I think that just a little bit of time. I think the schedule maybe lends itself a little bit to not having needing to have really great corners. Carolina has good wide receivers, but their O-line, maybe you can just kind of do something with that team. So we'll see what happens there. Davenport, talk about his injury, talk about what you think it means, and man, this guy just can't catch any luck. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, he played like he was really good. I feel like he was probably going to even have a hell of a game, and then it just ended. So yeah, Marcus Davenport injured, strained pectoral, which could have been worse. But yeah, talk about the Davenport injury, and yeah, what do you think it means for the team?
I mean, I think losing Davenport's, I think it's a big deal. I mean, he's had an outstanding preseason. He was somebody that I thought was going to be one of the better players on the team, and I think we saw some of those moments even early in this one. I mean, he had some dominant moments. His run defense was real good. And I think losing him it hurts, because now all of a sudden you are relying on Peyton Turner, and I think I think he's going to play well. I think he had a really good preseason your training camp rather before the injury, and it looked like he was on the right track, but he's missed a couple weeks, and now you're in a situation where you might have to rely on him heavily, and we don't know if he's quite ready there yet. So we're gonna have to see how that comes together, and that's a situation that is going to be a little bit of an unknown. I mean, Davenport was a bit of an unknown too, but we'll just kind of have to see what he does in the situation, and it's going to be, there's going to be a lot riding on him. I think you can cover it up a little bit. Passanio, look pretty good, but that's like, we'll see.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, it just sucks. It just sucks. He's someone that all signs pointed to him having like a heck of a year, right? I mean, he was dominant. I guess you could make. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but like you could make a case that he was the best player in Saints training camp, right? So, that lends itself to thinking he was going to have a good year. Preseason, he was just dominant in both games, right? First half, dominant, and then now, he has this pectoral issue, and pecs are tricky. Pecs are tricky. So it's just the guy can't catch a break. It's an injury here, it's an injury there, it's being nicked up here, it's being nicked up there. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. Hopefully he's not out for long. I know you tweeted about it, and just some things about the injury, and those tweets are out there. The guys can go read that. But yeah, it just sucks that he is he's injured again, and it's just kind of going to continue to drive that narrative about him, which I think the injury narrative is fine. I don't think there's really a lot of question about his play. I think his play kind of speaks for itself. He's good when he's on the field, but it's just how often is he on the field, right? That's kind of the issue with him. So,
yeah, and I mean that's tough in a contract year and everything to kind of have that situation be what it is.
Right.
It's definitely a setback for him. And again, I thought he was playing really well. His mind was in the right place, and the fact that he's in this spot again is got to be extremely frustrating for him. So, I don't hold it against him. Like you always say though, like availability is a talent, and he's got to be on the field. And if he's not on the field, at some point that gets held against him, and that's the trend with him at this point. And you can't work around, like there's just no way to work around that in your analysis. So that's kind of where he's at. And now they're going to have to rely on Peyton Turner. And I'm about to repeat my Peyton Turner take because we were having the audio issue, and we'll clip that out on the audio. But yeah, I mean, look, I think Peyton Turner looked really good during camp when he was on the field, and it looked like he was ramping up to it. He started out, the heat seemed like a little bit of a shock to him. He got up to speed. He was starting to show himself. His technique looked good. He was winning snaps. Armstead was even talking about how he felt like he was ahead of where he thought he was going to be coming into the camp.
Yeah.
So the signs were there, but now that you get into a situation where you might have to ride with him and rely on him, it's a bit of an unknown, and that's a lot to put on a rookie defensive end. I mean, he's going to win, he's going to get some snaps, but if he's the guy that you're kind of like now you're counting on him, that just changes the math of that whole position, because you got Davenport, you got Passanio, you got Granderson, and then Turner can kind of slide in there wherever he's at and maybe take his time, get up to wherever he's needed to be. And it might not be at number one. It might be, at 2 or 3. But when you got Davenport on the outside, Cam on the outside, you can move Passanio in the middle, and that helps you cover up for the loss of Onyemata. Yeah. You take Onyemata out, you take Passanio, you got to put him onto the outside for Davenport. Like now who's in the middle? I mean, it just kind of changes everything a little bit. And they played, I think, 12 snaps with a 3-man line, and Passanio was in there a lot. I mean, that's a spot where they use Onyemata a lot. So it just kind of changes everything up just a little bit. And I mean, that's a spot where you can almost afford to have an injury because of the depth, but it kind of messes up the interior a little bit. Shout out to Connor Cox for signing up, and shout out to Shane Ingram for signing up. And also,
you think that's Connor with a burner?
Also, and shout out to BetUS again, who they're doubling up. We got to shout this out twice now. Bet with the 3-decade leader, BetUS, showing now for 125% bonus or 200% bonus with crypto. Use promo code NOF125 for the 125% bonus, and NOF200 for the bonus with crypto. Bet sports, casino, horses, pop culture, and more at BetUS.com. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.
BetUS. Waiting for that 250. All right, so yeah, I'm with you. I do think, and just to close off the Davenport defensive end topic, I think it is good that, I mean, Tano looked like they may have, like, and what I thought about when I kind of was watching this play, I was like, man, did they get like another Alex Okafor? Because remember that year he was really good. That's kind of like what I was thinking. I was like, man, if that's who he is, then wow, because again, you stole another one, right? And so, I mean, that'd be a big, a big lift to this team if he is who he was, if he is what he is all season, what he was Sunday, then man. So that's just going to be really impressive. So hopefully he continues to play well, and hopefully Davenport gets back healthy. Another injury, man. I tweeted today. I was like, man, the Saints injury situation is kind of like their offense was the last few years, just death by 1,000 cuts. It's just like, player here, player. And I think they're fine now. My expectation is that they're still going to play well, that they're going to win the next couple of games at least. But, you start to lose this blue chip talent, right? Lattimore, blue chip. McCoy blue chip. Davenport looked like he was on the way to blue chip. Like that stuff starts to take its toll, and so it kind of seems like the depth of the team is being tested early, and we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, just your thoughts on the McCoy injury. They signed Austin Reeder, who played for Kansas City last year.
And Super Bowl team. Yep.
Yeah, and some of one of the the statistic charting sites had him rated pretty high. So just your thoughts on the injury, and just what do you think their plan is going forward? Are they going to try to keep Ruiz at center? Throckmorton at guard? Are they going to try to move Ruiz back to guard, get this guy at center? Like, how do you think they play this with McCoy with McCoy being injured?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I thought was a little bit revealing the other day is that Peyton said that he would have put Will Clapp at center if Clapp was healthy for this game. So
yeah,
the move they just made leads me to believe that Reeder's going to be. I think he's going to be up there and potentially starting in this game.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah, look, I think that it's just better to leave Ruiz kind of at his spot. I mean, how it impacts our protections and everything. I think that's going to be one of the things that's
one of the biggest impacts.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be interesting to see if they can do that. I don't know if this guy's going to start right away. Maybe he'll just be dressed for the game and kind of be depth there. But I don't like it. I'm fairly certain that he's going to be one of the elevations. That's kind of how I heard it today when they made the signing.
Okay.
I think Ruiz handled it well. I think he snaps. He blocked well in the passing game. I thought
have some meat on the bone in the run game, maybe.
Yeah, I thought some of their run blocking was a little bit spotty.
Should we tell them about our 40-minute disagreement that we agreed on last night? It's like 1:30 in the morning. We're arguing about one play.
Yeah, blocking schemes in the middle.
One play. That's what I love about my guy. We just will argue about the one thing and then just be like, all right, so how you think about that? What do you think about that new twist or something?
Yeah, that's crazy, basically how it went too. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they can kind of handle injuries on the offensive line, and that's just one of their specialties as a group is just that depth, and they know how to overcome it.
Yeah,
those zone schemes can hide some poor blocking. I mean, it's just why teams run them is that it helps you compensate for some stuff. So that's good too. It's weird overall. The whole team, like their depth was gone at some point this offseason, and just like over time they've restored it. In the only spots where they're still thin at wide receiver, obviously, and they're thin at defensive tackle. But
no, Kenny Stills the answer, bro. Everything's fine.
I think if he gets a chance, he'll make some plays. I do think he'll make some plays. I mean, just off the merit of knowing the offense and knowing, I think he can still run. And
that's half the battle, kind of knowing what to do in this offense.
Yeah. And he knew. I was surprised when they got rid of him the first time. It looked like he was kind of creeping on a come up there. And
I think something happened.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, something happened.
Something happened. Maybe the player who it happened with is not here anymore. I don't know, but something happened.
Yeah, something definitely happened.
I don't want to start no rumors. I said I was going to be like chatty today, but let me stop. Let me chill out. But so remind us what Stills was as a player. Just, he's back. What kind of player was he? Was he a deep threat? Was he intermediate? Was he kind of like a slot, get open, quick guy? Was he
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing the last few years, but his last year here, I remember a story I wrote just about the growth of him in the menu of routes he was operating off of, like expanding, tremendously year over year. And he was becoming a complete receiver in this offense and intermediate, deep, some stuff underneath. Like he was doing everything, getting targeted on pretty much every route.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago. I mean, he's got some mileage on him now. And, I still think there's probably something there though. They were interested in him. I think it was a year ago before he signed elsewhere.
Houston? Was it
Houston? Last time he was a free agent. I mean, they were in the mix and wanted to bring him, and it didn't work out, and he ended up somewhere else. So they've maintained that interest in him as a player, and
he wants to be here.
Yeah, he wants to be here. I don't want to get I don't want to get in the weeds, but I mean, there's probably extenuating circumstances around him too, to a degree, to where, I mean, we'll just kind of leave it there. Like
he made a stand, and you can read the tea leaves. Yeah, we don't need to go there. We've been there. I mean, it's listen, I think he's a player who, when I first saw him, I'm like, okay, like Marquez Callaway out for 4 weeks. Like, it's like, who's the hurt guy now, right? Why are they signing this guy? But part of me just looks at it and says, well, my wide receivers didn't really catch any balls this past week, and we need to get some more guys in here. Maybe Kevin White is not looking ready yet in practice, or, maybe they just had interest in him, and after week 1, they decided, okay, well, now it's time to bring him in. We'll see. But, hopefully he returns to, kind of somewhat of the form that he was before. I doubt it's that good, because that would be like really good, like fortune. And it just would tell me that this team is destined for something this year. But yeah, I definitely think hopefully that's a good signing. Last thing on the injury front, is it injury? I don't know, man. Just this whole COVID thing. You broke it first yesterday. All right. So you reporters out there, quote the right tweet. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. Nick, talk about the story that you broke 24 hours before, it was broken the second time.
Yeah, I would have been hot about that, honestly.
I'm here for smoke, bro. I'm here for smoke.
I would have been mad about that 3 years ago. I don't even care anymore though, because I'm just here and I have no interest.
That's why you hired me to be mad for you.
But like when you're trying to get I don't care who notices me anymore. I just want the city to notice me, and I don't tweet or report for anybody else. So I don't care if people in Cincinnati or a national reporter. I mean, he knows where that came from, and if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do.
I posted a Buff K-Wash pic today to let him know I'm here. I'm ready for the smoke, man. So it's out there. It's in.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, I mean, look,
I'm joking.
they got some coaches out. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
It sounds like it might be a little more wide ranging now, but it was all positional coaches yesterday. Yeah. All of them on the offensive side of the ball, except for one, special teams and a nutritionist.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Let me phrase this properly, because it's a big deal losing them, and losing any coach, at any point for a practice is extreme. But if you have to lose coaches on a side of the ball, I think that the 15, 16 years that you have with the two main guys on offense helps you work around that a little bit better. The QB coach is still standing, so that's good. Jameis has the continuity going into it. So that's one coach on offense where I think you'd be, real worried about it.
Tight end coach, you got new offensive linemen coming in there. Hopefully, I think you're right.
They got 2 O-line coaches, so if one was gone, you're okay. I don't really want to put anybody out there like that.
Right,
so,
right.
But yeah, I mean, look, I think at some of the spots where they're missing a coach, I think they'll be able to handle it. And Sean can handle a position, Carmichael can handle a position, and just kind of do it together. So
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's manageable. It's a manageable situation. And look, I mean, everybody's vaccinated, so if they test twice, I don't know how the timeline's going to line up, but there's a chance that these. I don't want to speak on something I'm not exactly sure on how the timeline is, but it wasn't necessarily they're out for sure at that point. So we'll kind of see how the situation plays out.
It's in motion. We'll get more information as the week comes along, and then you'll break it again. And I saw quick. Yes, the staff is 100% vaccinated. So
and the players, I think the players are probably around 90-95% at this point. There's a couple holdouts. Somebody was asking me those today. Look, my thing on this, and look, I got my vaccine, whatever. And I have my thoughts on it, but that's for me, whatever. I'm not going to put anybody out there until it needs to be out there. So if something happens with somebody and you need to say, hey, this person isn't vaccinated, that's at the time I'll do. I'm not going to put a list out there, and that's just the choice I made. I'm not going to get involved in that. I cover football, and when it affects football, I'll get into that. Now, if say the new quarterback, if that was a situation where he didn't have his vaccine, that's something that you maybe talk about.
That's relevant. That's relevant.
That's
very relevant.
Makes sense. There's a few, and it just that's it. We're just gonna kind of leave it there.
We're professionals over here, man. And and hey, I was joking, guys. I know just let me have my jokes. we're not beefing with nobody. I don't want no smoke. I'm a wimp. So you guys just take it as a joke. Someone told me I don't laugh enough, that we don't laugh enough on the pod. And I was like, really? So, there you go. So, all right. Moving on in the Don't Look Them in the Eyes edition of Saints Talk. Let's do let's review. Let's do a high level review of this game. But like Nick said, we're not gonna like recap the entire game. I mean, that would be doing a disservice to the people who are supporters of the site. Hopefully you guys understand that. And that's just kind of how it got to be. But just we'll kind of hit some of the high points. Again, the film study is on the website. The stuff in the film study, that's like kind of how I know about the game in a lot of areas, because there's no all 22. So just make sure you guys read that. It went up today. So check that out. So about the game, I mean, I just want to talk about, the GOAT, the MVP of the 2021 NFL season, the future, the answer,
the answer. You're taking that from Iverson?
Hey, I lost it, bro. Okay, I'm gonna call him the resolution.
The resolution. All right.
The resolution. The resolution. Right. Famous Winston. Like let's get into it. Let's get into it. Did he win the MVP? Is it over?
Look, I'll say this. I told somebody to get on him. I said comeback player of the year before, and that's looking good. That's looking good. If that pays off,
that's a real take.
He knows who he is. He's listening. So
yeah,
I'm coming if that hits. But
man,
you watch it and you keep, you go through it a second time, and it looked just as good. It looked just as good the second time. I mean, there really was nothing that changed. He kind of made it easy to see cleanly what he was doing. The one thing, and we mentioned this on the members only, and it standed out even more. I thought that his ability to run early in the game was a significant difference in something that was maybe not properly appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing when to go, being not in camp or the preseason, but when he needed to do it, he did it. And like we said, his ability to move is something that he has done. But it was just maybe a little bit underrated during that game. I mean, he really kept those drives alive, and you go back and you look and nobody's open. It's not that, a fault of missing somebody or anything like that. Like legitimately nobody was open. He had to go, he went, he kept those drives alive. And I think that was kind of the big reason, keeping those drives alive early in the game. You kind of saw the spirit leave from the Packers. Like you kind of saw them feeling the weight of that early lead and just the grind it out nature, and nothing's going right for him. And they just did not have an answer for his ability to do that. Another thing I thought the Saints did, and I didn't make good enough note of this in, going through the game, the way they lined up, they did some things that made Green Bay declare what they were doing defensively that allowed them to get advantages in the slot, get a linebacker in the slot. And there were, they'd line up, they put two tight ends on one side of the field, and they would have to show how they were covering the slot or the linebacker, and it made them to declare early, and it gave Jameis some reads that were easy for him to handle. So, Sean, just the way he coached this game was unbelievable. The way Jameis ran the game, the game plan, I shouldn't use the word ran because we were just talking about running, but the way he ran the game plan was exceptional. And it was just, we've talked about this a lot, the perfect marriages between coach and player. For 1 week, one game, one afternoon, it was a perfect marriage between coach and player. Now we'll see if it's the same thing in week 2, week 8, week 12, week 18. 1 week though it was, and you have to start somewhere, and you couldn't have started it any better. A 5 touchdown performance. The yards, the 140 whatever looked like 280. Like when you look,
280,
the way his performance, like again, it was so full. When you looked at that stat sheet at the end of the game, it was shocking. That he, at one point I looked down, I'm like 93 yards. Like, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous, because it felt like he was lighting them up, and he was just within the context of what he needed to do. And
absolutely,
he just didn't miss any opportunity. Like he took advantage of every opportunity. I'm excited to see what he does in week 2.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give the man his credit. Like just the running ability, that the more the defense has to defend, the better, your chance of success is on offense. right? And so, now when you play the Saints, and listen, you're not preparing for Lamar Jackson, but I think every time he ran, he got a first down, or almost every time he ran, he got a first down. So that's something that you have to pay attention to now, right? If like say with Breeze, right? And no disrespect to the legend, if the play wasn't there, he bought time in the pocket to find the throw, right? That's traditionally what you want your quarterback to do, but sometimes that throw is just not there. Like the defense prepares too, right? And so what Flamus Winston was able to do this game, my bad, man. I was trying to figure out where to get that in there. Yo, we gonna have some fun.
That is ridiculous, man. That's almost as good. That's up there with like the LASIK laser.
Listen, we have some fun this year, man. We having some fun this year. We laughing. We having fun, man. You got to take it when it's there, because there's gonna be some times where it's not gonna be so easy to laugh. So, but yeah, so the fact that I saw him at times create space in the pocket to throw. Right, I've seen Drew do that. Drew was a master at that. Drew was an elite pocket athlete. No question about it. He was elite pocket athlete.
He was until he wasn't.
Absolutely. Last 3 years, he kind of started to slip away. Jameis, I'm not saying he's on Drew's level because no one is, right? He may be the GOAT at it along with Brady. Brady may be better, but man, you're talking like 1 and 1A here, right? So when you create that space in the pocket to throw, and then when the throw's not there, you're able to effectively run and extend these drives. And that's exactly what happened when he does that, right? These drives continue instead of, maybe you just, sometimes the right decision is to throw it away in situations like that. That's a smart play. But when you have the ability to use your legs, scramble, get a first down, he got to slide, don't take the hits, Flamus, but slide, get down, then, absolutely. That's a big part of his game, it seems like. And hopefully going forward, he uses it, without taking any hits. But if he can do that, get you 1 or 2 extra first downs a game by using his legs, I mean, man, that's just something that I wasn't expecting. And you kind of get, what you thought you was getting with Taysom, because Taysom's just going to have some design run game. But I feel like he knows when to run better than Seven does, right? I mean, that's kind of the feel I got.
Without question. I mean, that was the knock on Seven, is that he didn't know how to do that, and that he needed to make his reads quicker and just kind of say, all right, nothing here, I'm going to get out and go. And he never did that. And
he just stayed in the pocket waiting for the play to develop. And no disrespect to the to Taysom, but definitely. Offensive side of the ball, offensive line is good. Alvin Kamara is an athletic freak. Don't give up on Callaway yet. Defense. Who stood out on that side of the ball for him? We spoke about Adebo. We know about Marshawn. We spoke about Marcus. We spoke about Tano. I'm taking all the players away now. But who what's some of the guys you saw that played well on that side of the ball and stood out?
I mean, I thought Lattimore was elite. I mean, just kind of watching him in his coverage was unbelievable. The stuff he was able to do. Those are the moments right there where you kind of see him.
Adams was the best wide receiver in the NFL last year, bro.
Yeah, and look, he still will be. Look, I think there's a case to be made that Green Bay front's probably one of the better fronts the Saints are going to see this season too, which is some of the stuff they're able to do, and they kind of handled it on the offensive line. But defensively, Lattimore was just he was unbelievable. I thought DeMario showed exactly.
He's good, bro. He's good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He showed who he is. He showed why the regard that he's held in, why that exists, and just his ability is unmatched. I mean, really. I mean, outside of a handful of guys, a linebacker in the NFL, and at his age, you're kind of looking every year to see.
I know, bro.
Hey, is this guy going to slow down at all? No, it's not. He's still there. He's still moving at that elite pace, and the stuff he's able to do. A bunch of people in chat are saying Quan. I thought Quan was pretty good in coverage. I think it still is the same thing with him. Like the run defense isn't as good as the coverage, but his ability to move. I mean, he ended up on Adams one time in the slot, covered him. I mean, 230 days removed, like his ability to move is unbelievable. His range shows up. He still misses some tackles. I mean,
Listen, bro, I gave him some of the juice. I gave him some of that green juice, bro. All season. That's why. Just all day I was shipping him juice. He's good now.
I mean, but look, I mean, if he was perfect, he'd be with his athleticism and his burst and all that. He'd be
Fred Warner.
He'd be paid like that too. And he's not. I mean, there's some liabilities there, and that's fine. The stuff he does, they maximize it. They put him in the right situations, and they have good linebackers. There's the depth to use different packages and put him in the spots where he succeeds.
Yeah,
and that's what the Saints do. They maximize the things players do well. They hide the things they don't. And it's almost cliche at this point. How often Sean Payton talks about his vision, but that's it. And they have the vision for him. They put him where they go. They succeed. They build around the strengths. They don't force them to do things they can't do.
Right.
That's as true with Jameis Winston as it is with Quan Alexander.
In every single, yeah. And I'll say this. I know we were speaking just preseason. Like, man, if this is who Zach Bond is, then like you got to figure out this guy's got to play, right? And I just think from looking at this game, you don't have to choose between the two, right? It's just, they can kind of coexist, right? Now, I think when you put a third guy in the mix there, that becomes a little tricky, but it seems like, Zach Bond, and at least based on this first game, Zach Bond and Quan Alexander can kind of coexist, at least in the meantime, as Will or Mike, whatever linebacker spot one guy plays.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. And I thought Bond played pretty well. I mean, he wasn't perfect, but you kind of saw what I really liked from him is that he gave up a bootleg early in the game. He bit on the handoff action and the backfield, and then they got the ball out into the flat, and he didn't see it right, and that they gave it up. Then later in the game, same play, they tried to run it. Bond saw it right, got out there, covered the ball in the flat. They get a sack on Rodgers, and you just kind of saw the growth throughout the game. And no rookie's going to come in and be perfect. He wasn't going to be who he was in preseason game one for all 17 games this year.
Yeah, man, please.
And establish himself as a Hall of Famer after
better than
games.
DeMario.
Yeah, that wasn't ever going to happen. But if you see him making the same, so you see it fixed the next week. If you can see it fixed series from series, I mean that's pretty good stuff from a young. Well, he's not a rookie at this point, but he feels like a rookie. I shouldn't have called him a rookie, but
he's a rookie.
He's a rookie in the sense of being involved.
Troutman's a rookie. Defense. Ruiz is a rookie. Yeah, those guys are all rookies, kind of, sort of. Yeah, no, that's good. But because guys, you have to fail at something to kind of be good at. Like a quarterback has to get confused by coverage, see it on film, and fix it to kind of be better against that coverage, right? Like, Jameis. There's some things that maybe Jameis is not familiar with. He's going to trick him right now. And shout out to Peter King for this story. But, the play where he said that he was most proud of, where he threw the ball out of bounds. Well, I think Bond intercepted. No, it was Caden Ellis. Ellis intercepted him in practice on that same play, right? And so in practice, maybe you take that chance because it's practice, man. It's practice. Yeah. It's practice, man.
Shout out to James, but I think he had about 15 plays better than that one. But I mean, I understand why he's pointed out, and I understand why that one stands out to him because it's illustrative of his growth. And I mean, he did some things that were way better than throwing the ball away out of bounds.
Absolutely. And and you're right. Like that's not the best play that he made, but it kind of just shows you where his mind is, in my opinion,
it does.
And where his mind is in his own head, because to him, that was the smartest. Now, Jameis, sometimes Jameis be talking. I'm like, man, does he really believe in himself? But I kind of really think Jameis believes what Jameis be saying. Like,
oh yeah, he does for sure.
I believe he believes it, right? And so in his head, like the best thing I did was not make that mistake, right? And he was still able to make the plays that were there and be aggressive when he needed to, right? And so I think that was like in his head. If that's the best play, then I kind of like where his head is, because listen, there's no questions about if this man can sling it, the football, right? There's none. It doesn't exist, right? It's a small group of players that threw for 5,000 yards before the 7-game season, right? I think Drew Brees is like 60 to 70% of them, and Jameis is one of the other guys. Actually, you're a little blurry. I like it because it's like easier to look at you now. So just don't fix whatever is going on right now. But yeah, and so, we know he can throw the ball, right? But I think the question was, can he protect it? And I think this game, he kind of showed that. So speak about the interception too. That was one that I've seen some people like bring up a little bit. Just what do you think happened there? How did you deck him on that play? What kind of went on there? What do you think about it?
What the interception?
The interception in the end zone, yeah, where it kind of the crappy roughing the passer call, but I thought it was DPI personally, But
yeah, I mean, look, you said it on the members only, and I agree with you completely. I mean, that's a throw you make when you got a receiver and the defensive back has his back to the ball, and you throw the ball at the back of his helmet, and you let your guy make a play. The where it failed is the ball wasn't at the back of the helmet; it hit, in the shoulder pad in the nameplate, so it needs to be up a little bit higher. It was still probably a catchable pass, but it could have been a little bit better. And if that had stood, you knock the quarterback a little bit. It's the ball's got to be placed better. But
right decision, though.
We got to get out of this space where if Jameis throws one interception, it's a failure of a game. That's just an extremely unfair standard. He's going to throw 15 picks this year, probably at least. That's fine. It's just
like the GOAT. That's what the GOAT was throwing in his prime.
Right.
I'm just saying. No disrespect to the GOAT, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, as soon as he threw that, you see the tweets. Oh, there's Jameis. He threw. If he has 5 touchdowns and 1 interception, that is an extremely good game. It's such an unrealistic and unfair standard for him. I hate the way the conversations about him are framed because it's just kind of ridiculous. The whole aberration season is used to color every opinion about him.
Yeah,
and that's the perfect example of it being unfair. As soon as he threw that, I look at Twitter and it's just a million, tweet. Oh, there he is again. There he is again.
I know, man. He's got to stop.
There he is again. Like you can take one chance. Like if Tom Brady gets hit as he's throwing a pass and underthrows it by 7 inches and it ends up getting picked off, like nobody's
the one's losing their mind over that.
And look, Brady has a different, but it's still it's one play within. It's just we got to be a little bit more fair about how we're analyzing this player.
I know. You guys see how my boss just chewed me out over bringing that up?
That wasn't even on you.
I'm just messing with you.
It's an outrageous standard. It really is.
It is. Absolutely true. I got one more question. Oh, go ahead.
Literally, like the only way to appease people though is literally like they want 0 interceptions. If he goes 4 weeks and throws 2 in week 5, like people are gonna be like,
Oh, he's definitely famous Winston. If he that's like his real name. If he goes 4 weeks and only throw 2, like for real, because that's outstanding. So I got one more question, and then if you guys got any like good questions, like put them in chat. I'll kind of keep an eye on them. But it's got to be a good one, because we're running in the time here. And so but shout out to Jonas. I saw Jonas in chat, man. That skit was hilarious. I just just shout out, man. Thanks for supporting. That was funny. So Peyton Turner, do you like, I know you spoke about him, but like, do you think they will start him, or do you think, because I saw someone in chat ask about him, I was like, okay, well, would he start? And my guess is no. I think they use him in a sub package and instead of just putting him out there to start. But yeah, how do you think they would use him if he's active this week?
That's a good question. I honestly don't. I don't know. I mean, he's been out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
If he hadn't missed those 2 weeks, I think he probably would get started. Felt like he had some momentum going.
Yeah.
Just kind of got to see where he picks up. And I don't know. Starting's kind of like a misnomer anyhow, because you can come out like Trey Hendrickson started some games.
He started last year, but yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I think he'll see a good amount of snaps if he's deemed ready to go. His legs are under him and everything. I think we'll see him get a good shot in this game. And I mean, that's kind of the way that I think you got to have that. Starter or not starter, it doesn't really matter. But
yeah,
I think he'll get a decent amount of snaps. I really do. I think they'll work him in, and I'm kind of expecting him to succeed. I think he's gonna do well.
I think. Man, just looking at his skill set and the guys around him. And listen, DA said something today. I think it was yesterday, and it's the coaches show. So the coaches show WWL, I'm going to say WWE. And, they have Sean Payton and then usually an assistant coach. The first couple of weeks is usually Carmichael and DA. And DA straight up said, he was like, look, if you got the traits and you work hard, I think we feel really good about our ability to make a good player out of you, right? And so I just saw someone ask about Tano in the chat, and I think that's a perfect example of what DA was talking about. I think someone was talking about Tano. I think Bobby asked about Tano and Passanio. I learned how to say his last name, but yeah. And it just feels like what you get with the Saints. I think it was Tano, Adebo, and Roby. And he was like, listen, if you got the traits and you got if you're a smart player, you can learn. Like we're gonna make a good player out of you. And that's kind of like what I felt like what you're gonna get with him. And so yeah, I just think you gotta have confidence in what this team can bring, what they can do to play, when they bring guys in. They got a history of it. They did it with Eli Apple. They did it. You could go back, Okafor played well when he came here, especially DBs. Chris Richard is, he seems like he's, starting off well as a coach. So, yeah, I just think you can feel really good about this team, the coaching on every single level, because it just feels like they're hitting on all cylinders right now. All right, well, that's gonna do it for us, guys. Wait, you're mute again, so. Let me just switch the audio so I can hear you.
All right. I was trying to get a there we go.
Oh, I can hear you now.
I don't think that they were trying to set anything up, to put it on tape. I think it just as I went through that game, and the question is, do you think Sean wanted to make sure there was a deep shot play to put it on tape and put defenses on notice? And, the way they kind of worked this game is they ran the sail concept a bunch of different times. And that's basically you get a deep route, then you get like a route out to the sideline from more inside, and then another route into the flat. So if you just kind of picture it, it's basically like a triangle that looks like a sail.
Mm-hmm.
And they had run that a few times throughout the game, and they disguise it different ways. Sometimes the intermediate route comes from in on the pass to Callaway is an example of it. It comes from the other side, and it'll be like a crossing route from the other side. So they were running those throughout the game, and that just kind of makes it for an easy read for the quarterback and kind of can speed him up. And he just gets 3 reads real quick on one side of the field, and you can kind of just look through the progression really quickly. And they just kept running it, and I think they saw a way it was defended, and they brought it out. And basically, once they got the safety to bite down, they hit Deontay deep, and that was just that was it. And I mean, it just opened up, and it was something that I felt like they led up to throughout the game, and then they got it, and off a win, but. They're going to throw those shots. I'll see it. That's going to be a part of their offense again. And that was just merely the first one.
Yeah. Listen, Sean likes to attack all parts of the football field, like ideally, right? And so that was an example of, and not just deep, short passes, deep passes, intermediate passes. Like he's not a coach that's, no risk it, no biscuits, short. No, he's wherever the talents of a player lend to success on the football field, that's what Sean Payton is going to do, and he's going to find a way to do it because he has a history of drawing up plays on the napkin. So, we definitely know, you're going to see plenty deep passes this year, and they're going to be shot plays, and sometimes it may just be a broken play where a guy scrambles and make a deep play. So, definitely shout out to Sean for that play calling.
So this was basically the messiest pod that we've probably done. Since,
I know, man. I know.
Since I came back, we got through it though. I mean, look, we're on the road. We're on weird internet. I don't know if you could tell at one point my internet completely shut off because like the hotel timer ran out. And I had to sign back in, type in my room number and everything. Like this must have been like when at the time I signed on, and it just ran out. So
your cast audio is gone. I don't know what's that's gone. I said, I was like, you got blurry. I was like, good. I can look at him now and not feel uncomfortable.
Look, we made it to the end though. So I kind of feel like this is like when you go on the road and like you're in a hostile environment and there's all this crowd noise and you have some, hard times. You can't hear the play call coming in, but you find a way to win. We found a way to win. We got to the end.
We found a way to win. No question about that, man. That's how we do. It's NewOrleans.Football, right? The toughest, most resilient, flexible, deal with crappy internet pod on in any football universe. So thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for supporting us. This was a fun pod. I got some laughs in. Flamus Winningston was the funniest. Someone called him. Someone called him Jameis Winningston, and I was like, man, we got to put Flamus in there. So that's his new name. Yep. And hey, guys, any Tano, Passanio, Okafor comparisons that ever like spawn out of the ether, it was here first on NewOrleans.Football out of Nick's brain. So thank you guys for support, man. Thank you guys for showing up. Like we said, make sure you guys go to NewOrleans.Football /subscribe. Pick a tier. Pick which one works best for you. This is one of 3 pods, right? What am I missing? Hotel internet is probably still better than
Hey, you got to get uptown and get on that AT&T, man. It'll change
Oh,
your life.
man.
It'll change your life.
Man. Hey, listen,
Actually,
man.
I'm lying because last year we had Cox at my old house. You remember all the internet issues we had? So yeah, it was worse. It was definitely worse. Cox ain't ever been on this podcast.
Cox ain't the business, bro. Yeah, no, for real.
AT&T advertised with us because we just
but Cox, listen, if you guys want to be a sponsor,
hey,
holla. We are open for business, bro. I will take back everything I said, delete that pod, and wear a Cox hat.
You can't beat Contour. You cannot beat Cox Contour.
That's gonna be like the logo right on the chest, bro. We here for it. So Cox, pay up. We for sale. But yeah, guys, thanks for the support, man. Go to NewOrleans.Football /subscribe. Like I said, this is one of 3 pods. Film study article is already up there. Nick's going to be writing some more this week. So thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week. We out.